Is the Yamaha MT-09 SP £1,000 better than a stock MT-09? That's a good question, and there's only one way to find out. What have we learned? Nothing. It does skids and wheelies still. Hooray!
We tested the Yamaha MT-09 this year out in Lanzarote. Back to earth with a bump. Beautiful British summer's day to test the MT-09 SP here. I actually prefer riding like this. It's not cold, so it's not like the grip's going to be horrendous. And it's where you're actually going to ride one of these bikes. For us in the UK, we're not always riding in beautiful sunny places on perfect tarmac, so it's going to be nice to give the MT a little bit of a blast on some proper British roads. Mix of damp and dry and gravelly and all the normal stuff we have to deal with. Compared to the stock MT, this one's around £1,000 more. It's 11,800. For that you get fancy bits, shiny snazzy bits. So simply the Brembo caliper, the Stylema, the fancy Brembo caliper, the lightweight one with all the extra cutouts. The Brembo master cylinder go with it. You get an Öhlins rear shock and a fully adjustable KYB fork with the black DLC coating on the fork legs. But fancy looking bits. In terms of riding performance on the road, more adjustability, and Yamaha's point was to make it more adjustable for track use. So if you want to go and do track days on it, you can stiffen it up, you can adjust the settings to your track and to your preferences. The standard MT-09 relied on you unplugging the ABS fuse or taking the wires off if you want to do drifts and skids, but you have an option to put it in a mode to do that on this one. There's also a narrower seat which actually gives you a bit of easier access to the ground. 12mm narrower, same height, but very often with seats it's actually the width of the seat that makes a bigger difference than the height of them. And then the final little tech feature that matters is the keyless ignition. And there's one of those pet hates. Some people love it, some people hate it. If it's your own bike and your only bike, I have to say keyless is great. Stick the key in your pocket and it does the ignition, steering lock and the tank, so you don't have to get the key out of your pocket. We've all done that thing where we've gone to the petrol garage, paid for our fuel, got back to our bike, put our helmet on, put our gloves on, and then immediately realised the key is still in one of our pockets that we've now got to fumble with zips, and especially in thick winter gloves on the less delightful times of year. And that, having a key in your pocket, goes away. You just turn it on and off, job done. I like that. That is a useful feature. And then little touches like this clutch lever. I know it's a clutch lever. It's not very exciting. It just makes rock noises, but it's a really beautiful, kind of wasted out, nice design. I'm not saying it's the nicest clutch lever I've seen on a road bike, but I don't know why I'm so excited about it. It's a nice clutch lever. What happened to me? I used to talk about horsepower and 100-mile-an-hour wheelies, and now I'm getting excited about a clutch lever. There you go. There's the truth. Inside Chris is a really nerdy engineer who likes tiny details. Don't tell anyone or I'll stop being fun.
So the new Yamaha MT-09 SP, it's, as with the last SP, it's the icing on the cake of an already very, very good bike. The SP just gives you a few more features and a few more nice trinklets that make it a bit more of a special thing to own and do actually give you a little bit more performance. Now the big thing for me, doing what I like doing on the bikes, is the fact that you can now turn off the rear ABS, you can adjust the engine brake control on the rear wheel, and that gives you the chance to skid it around, slide it around, back it in. I'm not talking all about stupid daft drifty stunts, but I quite like sliding the back tyre around on the road. It's fun, it's a way of feeling for grip, if you're trying to justify it, and it's part of how I like to ride a bike. So that little change, for me, is a big thing. Elsewhere on the bike, the Öhlins shock, the KYB fork, the slightly more sports suspension setup. We rode a mixture of smooth and rough A and B roads today, and it's not miles different, in all honesty, to the stock bike. It's just everything's a little bit tauter, a little bit sharper. Like I say, it's not a quantum leap, it's like the icing on the cake. And to be honest, for the extra 1,000-ish pounds, it's kind of worth it. It's a beautiful looking thing. It's got that little bit more gloss to the finish, that little bit more premium, I hate that word, but you know what I mean. There's a few nicer components, a few bits of bling with the Brembo, and ultimately when you stop and look at your bike, those are the bits that make you feel all fuzzy and warm inside. Now there's not a massive amount to talk about compared to the original MT-09 launch. That's where all the big stories were. But again, those changes, the fact that the bike is a bit more rideable, a bit more sporty riding position, make even more sense on the SP. And then the slightly narrower seat makes it easier to get your feet down, makes the bike feel smaller and more compact. And then on top of all of that, the quick shifter is really good.
Yamaha's new quick shifter is really good. It's an up and down quick shifter, but what they've done with it, they made a quick shifter where you can change up and down the gears regardless of whether you're on or off throttle. Traditionally, the up and down quick shifters, you can change up the gear with the throttle open and down the gear with the throttle shut. This one you can now do all options, and that makes the clutch completely redundant. You just pull away with it and then tap up and down as you go. No need to faff around. That, I think, is a really nice little feature.
That stuff is, again, on a spec sheet, you can have two bikes that have got up and down quick shifters and they look the same on the bit of paper. They can ride very differently, and the Yamaha definitely rides at the very high end of quick shifter performance. Now, we've had a good day riding on the road. A bike like this is kind of a bit of a hooligan spirit. I'm not saying that's anything like me at all, but Yamaha being Yamaha, rather than try and calm us down and stop us doing cool stuff all day, they've finished the day by bringing us to a beautiful-ish runway and said, fill your boots. So I'm gonna stop waffling now, and we can cut to a gratuitous montage of skids, wheelies, stoppies, burnouts, and general stupidity. Enjoy.